Today we're going to be doing strength. We're going to be doing a little bit of mobility at the beginning. We're going to warm up the shoulders a little bit. And then at the end we'll be doing a little bit of hip mobility as well to kind of cool it down.
And in between we're doing some great strength work. You're going to need some equipment. So Christian can go over that.
So a couple of things. We'll need some sliders. Just like last time, we'll need a mini band.
So this is like a thicker, heavier band. So if you want your heavier ones, we're going to do that for some hip work.
We'll need a yoga block, or you can use a couple of books. I have the Complete Kama Sutra. I never read that before. I have Tools of the Titans. So yeah, just a couple of books. We're going to use these to squeeze between your legs. You could also use pillows.
But if you have a block, you can use a block or that, or whatever you have at home is totally fine.
A chair as well. Okay, so we can get right into it. So we're going to start with a scap push-up. So what this is, you can do it from your knees if you're having a challenging time with this, or just from your hands. And we're going to do a push-up without bending through the elbows. So we're just retracting and protracting through the shoulders. Okay, and also we're going to need your chair in front of you and a couple sliders for our next couple exercises. So from here we can go shoulder width with your palms. And we're just going to come down to the bottom of that scap push-up for about 4 seconds. And then we're going to let yourself down nice and slow. On the way down, pulling your shoulder blades in towards your spine, thinking of depressing your shoulder blades. And then on the way up, pushing your palms into the floor, wrapping your scapula around your rib cage towards the front of your body. Get down nice and slow, pinching the shoulder blades, setting the shoulder blades down low. Making sure that you're staying active through the trunk here, so locking that rib cage down and flexing through the abs. Want to make sure that you're not extending through your spine and kind of folding this way. So really packing that down, staying tight here. And we'll just go for about 3 more. So moving nice and slow. Pausing at each end, contracting first, and then pushing the palms through the floor, contracting through your triceps. Let's try 2 more. And then after this next rep, we're going to go into a child's pose, bringing your knees nice and wide. Okay, fantastic. So you can get into that position now, Steph. So bringing your feet together, bringing your knees as wide as you can, setting your chest down towards the floor, reaching your arms out in front of you. And then we're going to turn your thumbs up towards the ceiling, making a fist. And we're going to try and keep your elbows completely straight the whole time. We're going to press both fists into the floor, and then we're going to try and lift one fist up as high as you can off the floor. On this one, packing your scapula down as low as you can, your shoulder blade down as low as you can, and thinking of pulling that scapula in towards your spine. And then you can bring that hand down, and we'll switch over to the other side. So as Steph is lifting her right hand up, she's pressing her left hand down into the floor as hard as she can, locking that scapula down, and thinking of pressing her chest into the floor as she raises her hand up towards the ceiling. Okay, you can switch sides. We'll just try about 4 more here. So up with the left, setting that shoulder blade down. You may really not get a big range of motion, and no worries if you can't. Also, another thing you want to think about here is as if as you're raising that hand up, you want to prevent any rotation through the trunk. So you're trying to keep your shoulders and hips totally squared to the floor. Let's just try 1 more on each side. These are ranges that we don't access very often, so it's really good to take your joints through these excessive ranges of motion. Okay, let's do 1 more. Contracting hard through that shoulder, setting that shoulder blade down nice and low. Okay, perfect. So nice quick warm up. We're going to start with a tricep push-up using a slider. So, basically we are going to have one hand on the ground, one slider underneath the other hand. We're going to slide the slider overhead, keeping that elbow in really tight on that left arm that you're doing your push-up with, sliding out nice and slow, and then taking 4 seconds back up to the top. So you guys can do it with your knees off the ground if you're really strong. If not, let's go from the knees. If you're feeling any discomfort in the shoulders, you could even just go for a regular push-up here. Okay, so keeping that elbow in nice and tight on that side that you're doing the push-up with, flexing hard through the shoulder and the tricep on the way in, taking 4 seconds out, keeping your abs nice and rigid, and then as you come back in, try and keep that elbow in front of the shoulder, so we're keeping tension on the abs the whole time. From the bottom here, squeezing through that left tricep. Nice job, taking your time on the way out. Okay, pause here, flex hard, and pull that palm in towards your hip. We're just gonna go for 10 more seconds here. And then we're gonna stay on this side and we're gonna use your chair. So just one more rep. Sliding up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze hard through that left tricep and up nice and slow. Okay, now we're gonna bring your right hand up to the chair, keeping your left hand on the floor. And we're just gonna raise up into a plank. So we're gonna hold here for 1 minute. Now, on this one, trying to press into your right palm as lightly as possible. Really trying to not use it if you can. You could even try and just bring your one hand to your chest if you're strong enough. But if you need to use that chair, go for it. And then we're trying to make sure that our shoulders and hips are squared to the floor. So we're preventing any rotation on this one as well. Squeezing hard through that left shoulder right here. And yeah, tucking the tailbone and locking that rib cage down. So we want to make sure there's no folding in that lower back right here. And you guys are doing a great job. We just got 20 seconds left. And then we're going to flip over to the other side for that tricep push-up. So 12 seconds left. Nice work. Keep squeezing hard through that left shoulder. And we've just got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. We can take the chair away. And we're going to go back into that tricep push-up for 1 minute. So we're on your right arm. We're sliding the left arm out in front of you nice and slow, keeping that right elbow in nice and tight. Also on these push-ups, try and make sure that you're keeping your hips fully extended. So you're trying not to flex through the hips, trying not to push the hips back. Okay, great job. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Full stop at each end. Try and really use the muscles to start the movement. Great job. Trying to avoid using any momentum on any of these exercises. Okay, good. Pause here to press that right shoulder up slow, contracting hard through that tricep. Nice job. Again, keeping your shoulders and hips squared to the floor. We've got 20 seconds left. And then we'll go back into another one of those planks. Keep breathing, taking control of your breath, keeping that right elbow in tight. Okay, squeezing hard through those triceps. And again, if you're feeling any shoulder pain, just bring both hands to the ground. Okay, we're going to switch into that plank. Okay, after this breath here. Great. So we're supporting your weight with your right hand. Okay, bring your left hand up onto the chair. Squaring your hips to the floor, squaring your shoulders to the floor. And again, if you don't need the chair, don't use it. If you need it, use it. And pressing that palm into the chair if you need to support your weight with the chair. See if you can rotate your hips so that you're squared to the floor. Also trying to make sure you're not rounding your hips here, extending your hips. If this is a little too hard for you, you can even go to the knees here. You really want to make sure that you're not feeling any strain in your lower back at all. So really contracting through those glutes, staying neutral through the spine. We've got 20 seconds left, and then we're going to move on. And after this, we are going to be doing a negative push-up with both arms. So we've got 12 seconds left. For this next one, we're going to need a couple of pillows. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to bring the pillows underneath your chest, and we're going to try some really slow negatives. So we're doing a push-up. You have your hands nice and wide. We're packing your shoulder blades down nice and low. And we're going to try and take 10 seconds down. So if you're really strong, you can lift your knees up off the floor, down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Once we get to the bottom, you can just rest your weight down to the ground, and then we'll just climb back up and reset. Okay, here we go. Going into our next one, down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, excellent. Okay, back up to the top. We're just gonna go for 3 more of these. Okay, as you're doing these, really making sure you're keeping your shoulders retracted, pulling the shoulders back, pinching your shoulder blades hard. Okay, great. Resetting to left, flexing hard through your glutes. Okay, here we go. Drawing your elbows out nice and wide. Keep depressing those shoulders, focusing on the positioning of your shoulder blades. Down slow. Excellent. Going from your knees here if this is a little too challenging for you. Here we go. Last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Fantastic work, guys. Okay, next we're going to go into a dip. We're going to be using the chair facing away from the chair. We're going to try 2 positions of tricep dips. This is the first one. So you can just bring your hands to the side of the chair. Make sure you're keeping your wrists nice and neutral so you're not extending through the wrists this way. So nice and straight. And we're going to drop your hips down for 4 seconds. Okay, here we go. Down for 4, 3. Tracking your elbows out nice and wide. Pressing, creating as much distance between your body and your elbows on the way down. Okay, great. Pressing your elbows nice and wide. If you feel any discomfort in your shoulders at the bottom of the range here, just really, really limit your range of motion there. Okay, down nice and slow. Keeping your wrists as neutral as you can. Pause at the bottom, flex both triceps, and up nice and controlled. And then on the way back, see if you can pull your hips back so that you're stacking your shoulder over your elbow at the top of the range. Okay, here we go. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. On the way down, bringing your body further forward, away from your hands. And we're going to just try 15 more seconds here. If you want to make this one a little bit easier, just bring your heels in closer to you and use your legs as you need. Okay, here we go. 1 more rep, and then we're going to turn around so that we are facing the chair. Okay, we can turn around now. Fantastic. So we're doing exactly the same exercise, except we're just going to be leaning forward, and we're going to be holding the chair this way here. So from here, we're dropping down, we're bending the knees a little bit. You can even bend your knees a little bit more there, Steph. Okay, excellent. And we're coming up from this position. This is our last pushing exercise, guys. Hang in there. I know you're probably feeling it a lot in the shoulders, triceps, and pecs here. Here we go. And again on this one, just using whatever range feels comfortable for those shoulders. Okay, tracking your elbows out. A little pause at the bottom, trying to maintain that 4-second cadence in each direction. We've just got 15 more seconds, guys. Hang in there, squeeze both triceps, both pecs, up nice and slow. Using your lower body, if you need, you can always slide your feet in a little closer to the chair. Okay, good. We've got 5 seconds. And after this one, we are going to be going into a side plank. So 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go from your elbow. We're going to try going with your knees off the floor. Again, if you need to, just bring your knees onto the floor. Okay, so Steph is on her right side, hips nice and high, and she's going to take her left leg and she's going to try and bring her heel up to the ceiling as high as she can, and then down nice and slow. So we're going to take 4 seconds each direction, squeezing through the glutes, squeezing through that supporting shoulder. That right shoulder is going to be pretty fatigued at this point, so keep digging that elbow through the floor and really squeezing through there to support your weight. Okay, very nice. Trying to keep your hips as high as you can. Trying to really exaggerate that positioning of the hips, lifting them up. Packing your rib cage down. Nice work. Okay, we're just going to take 15 more seconds here. If that shoulder is really uncomfortable, you can go from your hand like Steph is doing right now. Okay, we have 5 more seconds and then we'll switch on to the left side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, switching the other way around. Okay, so we're now on your left side. You can go from the elbow, you can go from the palm. Just use whatever position feels most comfortable for you. You can lift your knees off the floor, or you can bring your knees to the floor. Okay, here we go. We're here for 45 seconds. Lifting that right heel up as high as you can, contracting through that right glute. Lifting your right hip up as high as you can off the floor. Okay, guys, keep squeezing hard through that left shoulder, digging that left elbow down through the floor. Doing really well here. We got 20 more seconds here. After this one, we're going to be getting into some lower body. This is your last upper body exercise. So hang in there, guys, with that left shoulder. Okay, 10 seconds left. Nice. If you need to take some strain off that shoulder, you can always go to your hand again. And 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to go into a Bulgarian split squat starting on your left leg. So we're going to lift your right leg up onto the chair. So you can bring your left leg up there. Stepping your left leg forward. Right leg on the chair. And then we're going to be dropping down for 8 seconds. So here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right to the bottom, keeping your knee over your ankle or in front of your ankle. Push the chair back. Okay, good. 8 seconds each direction, guys. Hang in there. If at any point you need to bring your right foot down to the floor, no worries. You can do a regular split squat here. Another thing you want to be thinking about here is you don't want to feel any strain in that right hip flexor. So if you feel like a very large stretch at the bottom of the range on that right hip flexor, it feels uncomfortable, just limit your range of motion there. So we're keeping all your weight in that left heel. Nice and slow, following the same cadence as Stef is. Okay, here we go. Down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up slow. Hang in there. Keep squeezing hard through those glutes. Nice work. One more rep here. After this rep, we're going to take your right foot off the chair and we're going to try a step up from the floor. Okay, so I'm going to take the chair away from you. Fantastic. On this one, we're going to start in a kneeling position, still digging into that left heel, and then we're going to stand up from the floor. Okay, so we're going to just try reps here. We're going to go for 10. Okay, try and keep that left knee in front of your ankle the entire time, leaning forward slightly, letting that left leg do all of the work here. So we're trying to limit how much we're pressing into that right foot. Nice work. Going nice and slow on the way up, resisting on the way down. We're going for 10 here. Just keep track of your reps, guys. After this one, we're going to be going into a hip abduction. We're going to need your mini band. How many more you have here, Stef? Okay, good. We're going to go for 4 more. Taking your time on the way down. 3. 2. Okay, guys, last rep here, and then we're going to come down to the floor on your left hip. Okay, so down to the floor on your left hip. You got the band around your legs. We're going to bring the band just above your knees. Hips are flexed to 90 degrees, just like Stef is right now. And then from here, she's pressing her right leg down into the floor and lifting her left leg up as high as she can, keeping tension in that left glute. Let's go up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Down for 4, 3. Keep tension on the band at the bottom here, and up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. If you guys want, you can bring your right arm out in front of your body to support your weight there, so that you're not leaning back too much. Pressing your weight through that right palm. Okay, nice work. Your glutes are probably on fire right now. Hang in there. We're going to go to the other leg in 30 seconds. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Down for 4. Keeping tension constant through those glutes. You really want to make sure you're not feeling your lower back here, so make sure that you're leaning forward. You can even do a little bit of a crunch to make sure that you're not extending through the spine here. Last 12 seconds. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. We're going to go over to the other leg for a Bulgarian split squat. Okay, so we're using your chair again. If you guys need a chair in front of you as well to help yourself balance, you can do that. Okay, fantastic. So we are on your right leg. We're dropping the hips down for 8 seconds. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. leaning forward, maintaining that position the whole time, letting the lower body do all the work. So make sure that you're not leaning forward to get any more range of motion. You're just using that hip, knee, and ankle. Okay, down nice and slow. Pause at the bottom, up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep that knee bent at the top. Nice work. Take breaks if you need them, but see if you can push through. We're only here for 30 more seconds. Okay, pause at the bottom and up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Again, if you're feeling a really excessive stretch on that left hip flexor, you can bring your foot down to the floor, or you can really limit that range of motion, even if you're just going down like maybe 10 inches or so. Just do your best. Getting as much range as you can. Okay, and we're going to do it one more rep. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to go into that step up, so taking your foot off the chair, and we're going to go for 10 reps again. So dropping the hips straight down, we're on that right foot now. Good, taking your time on the way down. Trying to limit how much you're pressing into that left foot. Leaning forward, squeezing hard through that right glute. Trying to maintain this position the whole time so your shoulders are in front of the hips. Nice job. Once we get our 10 reps here, we're going to go back into one more hip abduction. Nice work. Here we have 5 left. 4. Okay, here we go. 4. Nice job. Pulling the hips back on the way down and pressing the hips forward on the way up. Last 2 reps. 2. One more time. Fantastic. Okay, and we can come down to your hip again, lying on your side. Right. That's good. Okay, so we're on your left side. Alright, and you can bring that hand out in front of you, pressing your palm into the floor, and we're lifting your right knee up as high as you can. We're here for 1 minute, and we're using a 4-second cadence in each direction. Keeping tension on that band at the bottom. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Down for 4. Guys, really make sure that you're not compensating using other muscles to get more range of motion. So try and keep that tension just in the glutes. You know, if you're using your lower back, something is a little bit off. So try and lean forward a little bit on this one, making sure that you're not rotating through the trunk. Okay, here we go. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Trying to keep this shin parallel to the floor, this top shin. Okay, up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 more seconds. That glute is burning. Woo! Okay, here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, fantastic job, guys. We're going to flip onto your back for a dead bug. We're going to do a contralateral dead bug, meaning we're going to use your right arm and your left leg. So we're starting with both knees stacked over the hips, both hands stacked over the shoulders, and we're taking your left arm up overhead as we take your right arm out. Now on this one, really don't go for a huge range of motion if you can't. Our main priority here is pressing that lower back right through the floor. If you ever lose that position, you know you've gone a little bit too far. Okay, and we're going to take 4 seconds up. 3, 2, 1. Keeping the knee just below the hip and the wrist just above the shoulder. Yeah, we're staying on one side. Okay, good. Up nice and slow. Pulling your belly button through the floor, pulling your rib cage down, and trying to lift your pelvis up off the floor. Keeping all the tension in the abs. It's not about how far you can go on this one, it's about how much tension you can create in the abs. Okay, we're here for 20 more seconds. Just to here, down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Just to here, down slow. Last rep here. Hang in there, guys. Here we go, last time up, and then we'll switch over to the right arm. Okay, switching to the right arm, left leg. Good job. Okay, switching over now, Steph. Okay, here we go, other side, down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Up nice and slow. Keep pressing that belly button right through the floor. If you find that as soon as you start the movement, your lower back lifts up off the ground, you can even just hold your knees stacked right over your hips and your wrists right over your shoulders. Just do whatever you can while maintaining tension on those abs. That's our priority here. We've got 30 more seconds here. Okay, good. Full stop at each end up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. 20 more seconds. After this exercise, we're going to need your yoga block or your books. Okay, we've got 12 seconds. Hang in there. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Little pause. Press your back into the floor. Up nice and slow. Deep breathing. Inhaling on the way down. Good. And on the way up, big exhale. Locking that rib cage down. Okay, and that's good there. Okay, we're going to go into a bear crawl. So we're going to flip onto all fours in a quadruped position. We're going to throw a yoga block or some books in between your legs, just above your knees. We have your hands right below the shoulders. We have your knees right below your hips. Knees are hovering just a couple inches above the ground. We're squeezing that block as hard as you can, and we're just going to hold on to this position for 1 minute. From here, protracting your shoulders, thinking of pulling your scapula around your rib cage towards the front of your body and creating as much tension through those abs as you can. Pulling that rib cage down, trying to bring your knees just a couple inches off the floor. Fantastic. Nice job. Even almost like as if you're rounding your lower back just slightly. We're trying to shorten those abs as much as you can. Imagine you're trying to do a crunch and you're squeezing as hard as you can. Okay, good. We're here for 20 more seconds. Nice deep breathing. Making sure your hands are shoulder width. Nice job. 12 seconds left. Hang in there. After this one, we're going to be going into a yoga push-up, meaning downward dog to a push-up. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've got the yoga block there. We're going into a downward dog. We're going to hold this position for 5 seconds. We're pressing your chest down towards your shins, lifting your hips, piking your hips up as high as you can. And now we're moving into a high plank. From this high plank, we're going to try a push-up. If you can't do a push-up, feel free to drop your knees down to the ground. Back into that pike, into that downward dog, lifting the hips high. Can bend the knees slightly here if you need to. Pressing your heels down towards the floor. And we're back into our push-up. Nice job. Up slow. Good. And holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rocking back into that high plank. And we're doing a push-up here. Nice job. If you're feeling any tension in your neck or in your shoulders, just drop down to the knees, or you can even just hold that high plank. Okay, back into the high plank. We're just going to go for 2 more here. Okay, push up here. Good. Your steps dropping to the knees. That's awesome. We're going to do 1 more downward dog, holding for 5, depressing the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Last time into the high plank and then into the push-up. And here's your last one. Fantastic. Okay, holding here for 5 seconds. And you can just hang out here if that feels comfortable for you. Feel free to get out of the exercise if you need to. And we're going to finish up with a little bit of mobility from here. Okay, so we're going to start by stretching out the hip flexors. I'm sure if you guys are anything like me, you're sitting a lot right now. So let's stretch out those hip flexors. So what we're going to do is bring one foot up onto your chair. With that foot you're bringing up onto the chair, we're going to set that same knee onto a pillow or 2 pillows if you need it. And then with your right leg, we're going to walk that right leg forward. We're stretching your left hip flexor here. And we're just going to bring your hands to the inside of that right foot, folding forward. And we're trying to get as much extension through the hips. So we're pressing your hips forward. We're engaging both glutes hard. And we want to feel a nice, gentle stretch through that left hip. If this is too excessive for you, then just make sure you slide your chair back a little bit. So your knee should not be like too close to your butt here if you feel like you have too much of a stretch there. Okay, awesome. We're just gonna stay here for 15 more seconds, and then we'll switch over to the other side. 10 more seconds. Nice deep breathing. And slowing your breathing down. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. So we're going to do a couch stretch on the other hip. Alright, here we go. So we're stretching through your right hip flexor now. Getting that knee onto a pillow, making sure you don't feel any strain in that knee at all. And again, you just want to feel a nice gentle stretch in that right hip. You've got your hands on the inside of that left leg. And we're trying to get as much extension through the hips as you can, squeezing the glutes to help those muscles lengthen on the front of your body. And we're just here for 45 seconds total. 20 more seconds. Nice deep breathing, slow exhales. And we just got 15 more seconds here. Alright guys, after this one we're going to go into a cobra. So we can do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, fantastic. So we're bringing your body flat to the floor. From here, we're contracting your glutes, pressing your hips into the floor, keeping your hands nice and close to the sides of your body. And then we're just going to try and slowly lift your rib cage up off the floor, keeping your neck nice and neutral. Just make sure you're not lifting your chin too high. You're making a bit of a double chin. And just getting a nice stretch through the hip flexors and the abs, all those muscles on the front of your body there. If you're feeling any strain in the lower back, you know you've probably gone a little bit too high for you. So make sure you're staying really active through the glutes, pressing your hips into the floor, and just lifting as high as you can so that you feel a nice stretch through the abs, the hip flexors, and maybe just a gentle stretch through the lower back. So we're just going to be here for 5 more seconds. All right, and then we're going to come over to your hip. We're going to try a pec stretch. This one you may not have tried. So Stef's just bringing her right arm out to the side, straight in line with her shoulder. And then she's going to rotate onto her left hip. Okay, good. And then she's bringing her top leg back behind her to get a little bit of rotation through the trunk. And then she has her left arm out in front of her body. She's pulling her body gently towards her left hand. And she wants to feel a nice little stretch through the lower back and also through that right pec and right shoulder. So you can press that right shoulder, right palm into the floor, contracting through your right triceps, and just gradually trying to pull yourself a little bit more towards that left hand, rotating your body towards the ceiling. If you feel too much strain in that shoulder, you can try throwing a pillow under your body so that it's not quite as much of a stretch on that shoulder. If you feel any strain in your lower back, just bring this knee over top of the other knee. And we're just going to be here for about 10 more seconds. Staying nice and relaxed, slow exhales, long exhales. All right, fantastic. Let's try the same thing on the other side. So we'll just flip onto the other hip. So, great. So Stef is on her left hip, bringing her right leg back behind her body, stretching through the lower back. And she has her left arm out to the side, palm is pressed into the floor, contracting through that left tricep and rotating her body towards the ceiling. You can plant your left palm in front of you into the floor, pulling your body gradually towards that palm, lengthening through the chest and the shoulder. And again, if you feel any strain in the lower back here, just stack your knees over top of each other. If you feel any strain in that left shoulder, you can prop yourself up on some pillows. Okay, great. And let's just stay here for about 15 more seconds. Stand nice and relaxed. And we're just going to do one more after this one. So we're going to do a bit of a hip stretch, a bit of a glute stretch. So we'll get into a 90-90 position. So we have 90 degrees at both knees. Fantastic. All right, and you just want to make sure that your front knee is in line with your belly button. So you're lining up your belly button with that knee. And then on this side here, just making sure you have your knee right in line with your hip. And that's looking good from there. Okay, fantastic. So we're stretching Stef's right side, keeping 90 degrees on both knees, and then just slowly folding forward over that front shin. And then what we want to think about is trying to gradually allow that left hip to lower down towards the floor so that we're gradually getting your pelvis level to the floor. Now Steph's really flexible, so she's able to get her chest right to the floor. Some of you may not be able to do that, so just make sure that you're keeping your spine nice and neutral as you fold forward, and you're not rounding your lower back in order to get a little bit more range of motion. So we don't want to feel any stretch in the lower back. Really all we want to be stretching here is your glutes and through that left hip. So we'll stay here for 20 more seconds. You can create some tension in that right glute. So squeezing through that glute. And we're just here for 8 more seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. On this next one, we can bring your hands behind your body, staying in the exact same position. You can stay in the same position. And then from here, we're going to rotate to your left. So we're trying to line up your belly button over that left knee gradually. And what we want to do is keep your shoulders stacked right over the hips. So we're trying to avoid leaning back on this one. And then what you want to do is try and press your right knee right down into the floor. It's going to have a tendency to want to lift up. Okay, let's just stay here for 30 more seconds. Continually trying to rotate over that left hip, pressing both knees down into the floor. Nice job. Long exhales. All right. And let's flip over to the other side. So we're going to do the other glute. We'll do the other hip to finish up here. Okay, so we are on your left side. Again, we have your left knee in line with your belly button. We have 90 degrees at that left knee. So just slide that knee in a little bit so that your knee is in line with your hip. And same with that left knee. So that knee should be in line with your hip. 90 degrees here. Fantastic. So we're all set up. And then from here, keeping your chest nice and upright, spine neutral, we're slowly pulling the hips back, folding forward, and then we're trying to keep your shoulders and hips parallel to the floor, so we're not rotating one way or the other. And really we're just trying to bring our weight over the front of our shin. Okay, nice work. And you may find that as you're stretching here, you gradually get a little bit more range. So as you progressively get a little bit more range, see if you can just stay there and slowly push your range and push your comfort zone there a little bit without rounding through the lower back. All right, focusing on your breathing. Trying to breathe through the nose here if you can. Accentuating the exhales. Longer exhales than inhales. 10 more seconds here, and then we'll rotate over to your right side. Alright, so we can go into that one. So we have your shoulders stacked over the hips, we're sitting nice and upright. You can prop your hands just behind your back, and then we're just lightly, gently rotating to your right. Again, pressing that left knee down into the floor, pressing both knees down into the floor, especially that left one. Okay, great. And we're just trying to avoid leaning back on this one. You can actually start to try and lean forward over that right hip. Okay, great. And we're just here for 40 more seconds to finish up. Okay, nice work making sure that you got 90 degrees at that knee. Alright, continually trying to level your pelvis to the floor, pressing both knees down into the ground. 20 more seconds. Alright, and last 10, and thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Really appreciate you coming along and working out with us. And good for you for getting that mobility and strength in.
So that's one of the classes that we'll be doing for our Own Your Fitness membership. So we're going to be cycling through with live workouts in a private Facebook group between strength and mobility, with some live Legree at home with me, and we'll mix in some yoga and some mobility and some breath work in there. So if you are interested and enjoyed those strength workouts, it's mainly going to be strength based and mindful movement based, slow pace, where we're connecting mind and the body together. So yeah, we're going to be launching next week. If you have any questions or are interested in any of the memberships, let us know. Send us a message on Instagram and we'll send you some details. So thanks for tuning in.
We'll be doing 4 classes a week, by the way. 2 of them will be Legree based, 2 of them strength based, yoga and mobility, as Steph said. So yeah, thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, thank you, Christian, for leading me through, and we'll see you guys again soon.